coast from there, and so we've got a more unstable air mass to tap into, and I think we have the potential for some pretty heavy rain. And so the Weather Prediction Center has put that area under the possibility of needing flash flood warnings later on, mostly overnight into early tomorrow morning. That's when this zone will see its heaviest rainfall. Let's time some of this out for you as we go up the coastline. Here comes our area of low pressure, really starting to get organized as we work our way to Saturday, kind of overnight. Here Saturday at midnight, still mostly on land. By 6 a.m. though, clearly off the coast. That's where our area of low pressure will be really cranking. Rapid intensification from this point on. All the ingredients are there. We've got a front that'll be set up. We've got really warm tropical air coming up this way. You got much colder air spilling in behind. That transition to snow on the back end because of that. And that temperature difference along the front is how these storms really start to crank. And I think we will see that very thing. Look at how the amount of lines on this map increase. Those are lines of equal pressure. The more of them there are, and the closer they are together, indicates the amount of wind you'll see. That's the pressure gradient force is represented by the pressure lines. And gosh, look at the forecast now in Boston. 38, but with heavy snow and wind-blown snow at that. So Chris, close call for Boston. I think it's going to have a hard time sticking, but it doesn't mean that there won't be any snow.
Yeah, and Boston, of course, along that Interstate 95 corridor here. And here are some other spots, including Boston, of course, to the south of there, New York, and then Philadelphia and Washington, D.C., and all along the I-95 corridor. It's going to be a mostly rain scenario here, and that is often the case. We see it so often, and I-95 is essentially a split between snow and rain. Now I want to take a look at why this interstate in this part of the country is essentially a battleground interstate.
Interstate 95, stretching the entire eastern seaboard from Miami to the tip of Maine. This main artery keeps the East Coast running, unless we're talking about a winter storm, which can completely derail everything. With these storms, all types of precipitation pound the pavement, turning the interstate into more of a battleground boulevard for winter weather. But what causes this, and why is I-95 in the crosshairs for winter weather?
So I-95 corridor, in the big picture, is a dividing line between the relatively warm, moist air over the Gulf Stream of the Atlantic Ocean and the colder, drier air coming out of Canada. But you also have not just land-ocean contrast, but mountainous terrain inland from the mid-Atlantic and northeast, which just tends to focus precipitation along that I-95 corridor, and the difference between the rain and the snow could be dramatic over just a few miles in that I-95 corridor.
It's more than just a nuisance. According to the I-95 Corridor Coalition, the passageway has a $4.7 trillion economy. That's an incredible 40% of the nation's gross domestic product. And when big weather strikes, the bottom line takes a hit.
What happens when you have weather like this, the economy basically just freezes in place. So commerce doesn't happen. People aren't going to the store, they're not spending money, they're not going to restaurants, they're not traveling. It becomes like, for the Northeast, it's sort of a house of cards weekend where everybody is bundled up inside and they're not moving out, and therefore they're not spending money. So it shuts the economy down effectively for an area.
Roughly 72,000 people strap into their cars, ready to duel it out on I-95 every single day. But each battle is different when it comes to winter weather.
You're going to get precipitation. The question is, somewhere near that I-95 corridor, who's going to get rain? Who's going to get snow?